You know, I've always loved the Macintosh. And when I was looking at old school games I used to play as a kid, one of them was Tetris. I remember playing this game on my Mac SE30, believe it or not, way back in 1991. And recently I found a copy of it and I thought I'd show you guys what it is like. Now, this is the game from 1991. It came out a year after the actual game. Came out on the NES and the Game Boy. But before we get into the game itself, let's take a look at the box. So the box is your standard brown box that you would see many games come in, not just for Mac, but for Windows as well. And Tetris is right here! This is the cover art, and it looks like they're having some kind of contest here. If you send away for this, maybe you could win a trip to Russia or a Nintendo Game Boy, which is pretty cool. I remember when the Game Boy first came out, that was like the hottest item ever. And there's also a contest number and everything like that. On the back, there's some more information about the game. Compete against yourself or a friend in this exciting contest. The person with the highest score at the end of 5 games wins. So you can either go head-to-head with someone else, or you can just try to beat your own high score. Here's some more screenshots of the game, and it says it's uncopyable. You can't copy this software because it's protected by copyright laws. Not that any of us would ever do that. Wink, wink. And then inside here, we have our manual, which is pretty interesting. The manual itself is actually pretty small. There's only like 4 pages in here, and the first page is all about how to play. So player 1 controls the T-shaped block, player 2 controls the square block. And then it shows you how to move left and right and drop faster and rotate and all that stuff. And then there's a scoring chart. So the more lines you clear, the more points you get per line. So 100 points for clearing 1 line, 300 for 2, 700 for 3, and then it goes up. Then there's the actual copyright information. So this was published by the Tetris Company and licensed from the Soviet Ministry of the Electronic Industry. And it was developed by Pajanov and Co. and published in the United States by Mir. Then on the back cover, there's some more information about the company. And if you look really closely, you can see that this was printed in Canada. So this is probably one of the last manuals that was printed before they went completely to online documentation. Because if you look on the next page, it talks about how you can find more information, including the online documentation, and then there's an advertisement for another game. So now that we took a look at the box and the manual, let's take a look at the game itself. So here is Tetris on the Mac. I'm running this in an emulator called Sheep, and this came out in 1991. It cost me $12 at an antique store, and I think it's actually worth every single penny. This is so much fun to play, and I remember playing this for hours on end. The graphics are pretty simple. They're just basic Mac OS graphics. But this game is all about the gameplay, and it is just so much fun to play. I can just sit here and talk about how great this game is all day. The music is also pretty catchy. I haven't heard this in years. Okay, so I just spent the last 5 minutes trying to record my screen and none of it worked. So I know if this game has some kind of anti-cheat protection or something. But it does not let me record my screen whatsoever. So I apologize for not being able to show you guys the gameplay, but trust me when I say this game is awesome. It is so much fun! I'm gone. Nah, try to find a Windows version of this game, because I remember playing that as well. But if you guys want to try this out for yourself, you can find it on eBay for pretty cheap. All you need is an emulator, and you can run it in that emulator. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that thumbs up button. Also, don't forget to check out the other videos in my library. And thanks for watching.